Hello guys, welcome to Chess Mitra. Today we are going to discuss the Armageddon game played between Grandmaster Gukesh and Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen in the fourth round of Norway chess. Gukesh with the white pieces starts with e4, Magnus plays e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6. We enter the two knights variation, d3, bishop c5. We enter the Gukesh c3, d6. c3 stops any minor piece getting activated on d4. After d6, bishop g5 pinning the knight, h6 kicking away the bishop, bishop h4, a6. a6 making room for the dark squared bishop to retreat in case of a pawn storm. Knight bd2, bishop a7. The bishop retreats, castles, queen e7. This is the first critical moment of the game. Instead of queen e7, there was a better move. Can you find it? Please pause the video and check. Now, instead of queen e7, g5 was a better move because after bishop g3, this bishop is kind of trapped and his counterpart on a7 is very active. But Magnus instead played queen e7 with the idea of exchanging the light square bishop with his more active counter. White plays b4, black castles, a4, bishop e6 with the same idea of exchanging the light square bishop. Rook e1, defending, adding extra defender to that pawn so that in case of an exchange we can push d4 at a right time, and bishop cross c4, knight cross c4, b5. Instead, b5 was a slightly inaccurate move because after white plays knight e3, this there is a clamp on this d5 square, and this knight and queen will be pinned after white plays knight e3 to d5. So b5 was inaccurate, but Gukesh did not play the best move. He took the b5 pawn, a cross b5, knight a5, exchanging the knights, knight takes knight, rook takes knight, bishop b6. Magnus gives up a pawn, but if white takes it, then the white rook will be kind of trapped. But the position is slightly better for white according to the engines. Rook cross b5, g5, with the same idea that the bishop has no squares, only it has to retreat to g3. Knight d7, d4, attacking in the center, f6, defending, d cross e5, f cross e5, c4, c6. The rook is trapped, but Gukesh goes for an exchange sacrifice. That is the only move. Rook takes b6, knight takes b6, c5, knight bd7. Instead of knight bd7, Magnus should have taken here. After knight takes c5, c takes b3, knight g6, queen d7, queen b3, check, queen f7, knight e7 check, king h7, queen cross b4, rook a4. But instead Magnus goes knight e7, c cross d6, queen e6, queen c2, rook a6 defending the pawn. But if the queen moves from this square, we can give a check to the king, forking the king and a rook. So knight takes e5. If black takes twice, then the rook hangs with a check. So Magnus played rook a2, but here Gukesh played an unexpected move. He sacrificed the queen. Queen takes a2, queen takes a2, knight takes d7, rook d8, knight f6 check, king f7, e5, queen d2, f3 defending the rook, queen cross b4, black takes a pawn, h3 making room for the king, rook a8 trying to infiltrate the position, d7, queen d4 check, king h2, king e6, rook c1, c5 defending the pawn, knight e4 attacking it, c4 defending again, knight d6 attacking it again, c3 defending it again, and knight e4. Now there is no way to for black to defend that pawn. So Magnus exchange the pawns. King d8, rook c6, queen e3. This was the critical. This was the most critical moment of the game. Here there is a winning move for Gukesh. He missed it in time pressure, but can you find it? Here the winning move is e6 because if black tries to infiltrate with rook a1, we give bishop c7 check, king e8, bishop d6, rook a8 back, knight f6, king d8, bishop c7 check, king e7, and now knight d5 check pokes the king and the queen. So, but Gukesh instead played rook c3, attacking the queen. Magnus goes back again. Now Gukesh can repeat the moves, but he chose rook c2, queen e7, rook d2, queen c4, bishop f2, rook a5, bishop g3, rook a1, e6, queen c1, trying to checkmate on the back rank, bishop d6 check, king cross e6, king g3, h5, trying to mate, knight takes g5 check, king f5, rook d5 check, king g6, knight e6. This was the final blunder because after queen e1, white loses the knight. Thanks for watching.